If you want to sound smart and be perceived as more confident and more intelligent, then my God, this video is for you. I'm going to break down one of the most controversial TED Talks I've seen on how to sound more intelligent. It has 13 million views on YouTube alone and is by a man named Will Steven. And it's controversial because he breaks down, how do you sound smart when you don't have anything smart to say? And that's quite controversial. But it's interesting to study because if there is a way to sound intelligent, to be perceived as more confident just by using your voice, your body, and the way in which you speak, that's a superpower. That means you can carry that confidence and carry that dynamic way of speaking anywhere you go, regardless of how prepared you feel, regardless of how confident you may feel on the inside. So this video is about 6 minutes. It's one of my favorite TED Talks because it's a real conversation starter. And we're gonna break down all the ingredients for how you can be perceived as more confident and more intelligent. Sit back and let's watch it together.
Hear that? That's nothing. Which is what I, as a speaker at today's conference, have for you all. I have nothing. Nada. Zip. Zilch. Zippo. Nothing smart, nothing inspirational, nothing even remotely researched at all. I have absolutely nothing to say whatsoever. And yet, through my manner of speaking, I will make it seem like I do. Like what I am saying is brilliant. And maybe, just maybe, you will feel like you've learned something.
So already you might notice just so musical, so much variety in his voice and the way he goes up and down. See if you can listen for it.
Now, I'm going to get started with the opening. I'm going to make a lot of hand gestures. I'm going to do this with my right hand. I'm going to do this with my left. I'm going to adjust my glasses. And then I'm going to ask you all a question. By show of hands, how many of you all have been asked a question before? OK, great. I'm seeing some hands. And again, I have nothing here. Now, I'm going to react to that and act like I'm telling you a personal anecdote. Something to break the tension, something to endear myself a little bit, something kind of embarrassing.
Embarrassing. He's so good at being himself. I think he's tapped into something where he just, I don't know, he seems so natural to me.
And you guys are going to make an awe sound. It's true.
Nice.
It really happened. And now I'm going to bring it to a broader point. I'm going to reel you back in. I'm going to make it intellectual. I'm going to bring it to this man right here. Now, what this man did was important, I'm sure. But I, for one, have no idea who he is. I simply Google image the word scientist. And now, you see, I'd like it to seem like I'm making points, building an argument, inspiring you to change your life, when in reality, this is just me buying time. Now,
Ooh, I love this. Me buying time. He has a way of melodic speaking, and just notice how many different variations he has when he speaks. He's like a master of musicality.
if you don't believe me, let's take a look at the numbers. This is a real thing that's happening right now. The number of talks that I'm giving is 1. Interesting facts imparted thus far in said talk, well, that's going to be a 0. My height in inches is 70.5. Note the 0.5 there. 2 times 6 equals 12. And then interestingly enough, 6 times 2 also equals 12. That's math.
So always doing humor. I
352
really
is a
appreciate
3-digit number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then almost immediately following that, we get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, to add more filler here, I'm going to give you a couple more numbers to consider. 18, 237,
that. Wow.
5,601,
Just saying it so confidently.
2.6 million,
Million.
4, 24, staggering. These are real numbers, all of them. And to follow that up, let's take a look at some graphs. Now, if you take a look at this pie chart, what you're going to see is that the majority far exceeds the minority.
Yeah.
Everybody see that? Cool,
So
isn't it?
funny.
And let's take a look at this bar graph because it shows similarly irrelevant data. Now, I'm doing this because I'd like to make it seem like I've done my homework. If you were, say, watching this on YouTube with the sound off, you might think, huh, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. But I don't. I'm floundering, panicking, I've got nothing. I'm a total and utter phony.
Well, he is and he isn't. He's definitely is prepared for this talk and he knows exactly what he's doing. But his broader point is that even with the sound off, he appears like somebody that is confident in what's happening right now. And that's a really powerful mindset to have. And the way that Will is able to carry himself and really just express emotion in his words to really just own it. That's the theme that I'm noticing is Will just owns what he says and we can't help but feel like he knows his stuff.
But you know what? I was offered a TED Talk. And damn it, I'm going to see it through. Now, if you take a look behind me, these are just words paired with vaguely thought-provoking stock photos. I'm going to point at them like I'm making use both of my time as well as your time, but in reality, I don't know what half of them mean. And now, as these continue, I'm just going to start saying gibberish. Wagga wah, gabba gabba, turkey,
Wow, now he's just...
mouth in a mouth.
He's in
Ship,
total control.
trip, my dog Skip. Rip it and dip it, Richard. I'm an itty-bitty baby bopper, and I'm hungry in my tum-tum.
But what's interesting about this, whether it's your humor or not, is he just continues to stay in character. He's showing that it's not what he's saying, it's how he is owning the stage. And you could even see it in the way that he walks. Like, he's got a swagger to him, albeit it's his own style. He knows what he's doing, and it's a brilliant way to illustrate just how to appear more intelligent than what you're actually saying. We'll talk about if this is a good thing or not, but let's finish this.
Brad Pitt, Uma Thurman. Names, things, words, and more things. And see, it feels like it might make sense, doesn't it? Like maybe, just maybe, I'm building to some sort of satisfying conclusion. I mean, I'm gesticulating as though I am. I'm pacing, I'm growing in intensity, I'm taking off my glasses, which, by the way, are just frames.
I forgot about that.
I wore them to look smart, even though my vision is perfect.
Wow. Well
And now I'm
delivered.
going to slow things down a little bit. I'm
Oh,
going to
nice.
change the tone. I'm going to make it seem like I'm building to a moment.
Notice the pause.
And what if I was? Amazing, isn't it? What can you do? Life's a roller coaster.
Just a random...
You know, if there's one thing you take away from my talk, I'd like you to think about what you heard at the beginning, and I'd like you to think about what you hear now. Because it was nothing, and it's still nothing. Think about that. Or don't, that's fine. And now I'm going to stop talking. Thank you.
Nice. Great job, Will Steven. What a brilliant way to illustrate an idea without pointing it out explicitly. I think this is an excellent example of how to be perceived as confident by really, I don't think he's manufacturing confidence. I think he genuinely has this inner feeling of certainty about everything that's happening. And he's able to take that energy and channel it into his words. That's why he could say the word 454. He could say it as if it meant something important, but it doesn't. But the ability to say it in a way that it does is something that's totally within our control. All of us can access conviction, all of us can access confidence, and all of us can speak with musicality. I mean, just how expressive he was in his pacing and gestures and variety with his voice. It's not one thing. It's just dynamism. And if you want to study that dynamism, there's no better place than Ultraspeaking because we've broken it down into games. Games like Conductor, games like Rapid Fire Analogies, games that train you to speak with energy and practice speaking with confidence in moments where you don't feel it. Because if you're able to turn on your confidence switch on command, then the higher you go up in leadership, the better you're going to get. Even when you don't have time to prepare, even when you can't go into all of the details of any single meeting, you'll be able to have a confidence that doesn't depend on content, doesn't depend on preparation, a confidence that can stay with you when you need it most. And it's totally something that you have access to within, and hopefully Ultraspeaking can help unlock it for you even more. That's what the mission is here. And if you're on this channel, then I hope you get one step closer to being a self-expressed, confident human being who loves to speak. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.